Good morning, Long Beach. Good morning. To our stakeholders, customers, industry and community partners, and civic leaders, good morning to all, and thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Now, will those of you in the ballroom join me in welcoming our online audience who are tuning in from around the world? Let's show them just how excited we are to be here this morning by welcoming them with a thunderous applause. Thank you. Let me also thank the service staff here and our own port team for their outstanding work in creating this event here this morning. Let's give them all a big hand of applause. On behalf of the entire Port of Long Beach team, it is my honor to welcome you to our 2018 State of the Port. I'm Noel Hacegaba, Managing Director of Commercial Operations at the Port of Long Beach. And today, I have the pleasure of serving as your Master of Ceremonies. Now, to begin the program, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. We are thrilled that you have accepted our invitation to attend this year's State of the Port. This is our annual opportunity to share with you our achievements and significant events over the past year and many exciting things that lay ahead in 2018 and beyond. But it's more than just an update. You see, today, January 24th, is a historic day. Listen to these notable events in history that took place on this very day. On this day in 1962, baseball legend Jackie Robinson was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Yes. In 1984, a small company called Apple, have you heard of them? Unveiled its revolutionary Macintosh personal computer. How many of you still have yours? Now, what do these notable events have in common? They broke new ground, they charted a new path, and they changed the world. Something the Port of Long Beach has been doing for over 106 years. Now, years from now, we will also remember January 24th for this day, this State of the Port, as the beginning of a new era for our port. In a moment, you will hear from our Harbor Commission President, Bynum, who has a special message for all of us. She will also introduce our Executive Director, Cordero, who will present this year's State of the Port. Now, I think you would agree that 2017 was an extraordinary year on many fronts. In the shipping industry alone, the unprecedented period of consolidation continued in earnest, totaling 6 mergers, the largest bankruptcy in shipping line history, and a new entrant. Or as someone described it, 6 weddings, a funeral, and a baby shower. Now, today you will hear how the Port of Long Beach responded and the bold and decisive actions that we have taken to move us into the future. But first, let me introduce a few special guests, and please hold your applause until I've introduced everyone. With us this morning are Congressman Alan Lowenthal, Los Angeles County Supervisor Janice Hahn, from the City of Long Beach, Mayor Robert Garcia, who will address us in a moment, Vice Mayor Rex Richardson, Council members Janine Pierce, Susie Price, Roberto Uranga, and El Austin, City Attorney Charles Parkin, City Auditor Laura Dowd, City Prosecutor Doug Halbert, from the Long Beach City College Board of Trustees, Vice President Sunny Zia and Vivian Malaulu, City of Rolling Hills Estates Mayor Pro Tem Judy Mitchell, City of Southgate Council Member George Morales, from the Mexican Consulate, Consul Carlos Jimenez, U.S. Coast Guard Captain of the Port, Charlene Downey, California Transportation Commissioner, Fran Inman, AQMD board members, Dr. Joe Liu and Dwight Robinson. We also have representatives from the following offices: U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein, Congressmember Nanette Berrigan, Senator Ricardo Lara, Assembly Speaker Anthony Rendon, Assemblymember Patrick O'Donnell, Assemblymember Mike Gibson, LA County Assessor Jeffrey Prang, LA County Supervisor Hilda Solis, LA City Council Member Joe Buscaino. And also with us today, we have former Harbor Commissioners from the Port of Long Beach, Doug Drummond, James Hankla, Nick Ceramic, Dr. Mike Walter, and Susan Weiss. Finally, we would also like to welcome City Manager Pat West and all the department heads and representatives who have joined us today. Now, President Bynum will, in a moment, introduce the members of the Board of Harbor Commissioners who are currently serving. Now that our special guests have been recognized, please join me in giving them all a big hand for their leadership and service to the community. Thank you. Now, before I introduce our first speaker, I'd like to invite you to join us on March 28th for our annual Pulse of the Ports Forecast Conference. And the good news, you know how to get here, because it's in this very room. You can find more information on your tables or on our website. We hope to see you here. Now, at this time, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce our first speaker. He has served the community since 2009, first as city council member and later as vice mayor, before being elected the 28th mayor for the city of Long Beach. As an educator, Dr. Robert Garcia has taught communications and public policy at the University of Southern California, California State University, Long Beach, and Long Beach City College. Mayor Garcia fully understands the importance of international trade to the port and to our great city. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mayor Robert Garcia.
Well, thank you. I'm not sure where my applause, I like those applause shots there. I'd love to get that back on there at some point. Just kidding. There we go. I like that. Yeah. I'm not sure why my staff hasn't thought of those yet, but I want to make sure those come to every event. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. It's really just a pleasure to be, of course, here with all of you. Folks that are working in an industry that drives our city every single day. I'm so proud of the Port of Long Beach. We are all so proud of the Port of Long Beach, and it's an honor to be here with you for a few minutes this morning and to listen to a great State of the Port, which I know we're all looking forward to today. Let me say that this year is a special year for our city, and you're going to hear about a lot of that today. But it's a year of breaking records as well. In Long Beach this year, we had the lowest amount of homicides in city history. We had the lowest rate of unemployment in city history. We had the best year of tourism in city history. And like you're going to hear in the address today, we had an incredible record year when it comes to cargo at the Port of Long Beach. And so this community, this city, and this port are moving forward in a very exciting and special way. And I want to thank all of you for your support. Let's give yourselves a big round of applause. I want to take a minute to really thank each and every one of you, whether you are working at our terminals, whether you are at the docks, ensuring that our cargo gets in and out of our gateway, whether you are at the port, working hard every single day to ensure that we are good landlords and good drivers of economic development. Just thank you all for your incredible work for the port. I especially want to thank the leadership of the port. To, of course, Mario Cordero, we're so glad and happy and excited about your leadership in joining us. You are back home, as we all know, and let's give Mario Cordero a big round of applause and thank you. I also want to take a minute to thank the incredible management team of the Port of Long Beach. Oftentimes, these are folks that aren't getting all the credit, but I will tell you that there is not a harder working team in show business than the management team, the directors that are managing our port every single day. And I personally wanted this morning just to thank every one of you for your hard work. Let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you. And finally, and I'm going to introduce one of them in a minute, I do want to thank our Board of Harbor Commissioners. I'm really, really proud of each one of them. They lead this organization first and foremost with a sense of love of Long Beach, which I think is really, really important. They are committed, they're experienced. I know them all personally. And so, of course, to Bonnie and to Frank, to Lorianne, and to Tracy, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for your incredible work. And finally, I want to congratulate and welcome up to the stage to give us a few remarks the current president of the Board of Harbor Commissioners. And I want to just give you a little bit about Luann. Luann obviously was elected last summer by her colleagues to lead the port. As we're all aware, she served many years in service as an educator and as a leader at Long Beach City College. Most recently, she retired as the executive vice president of the college. And she also used to be my boss at the college for some time. And so I've had a chance to work with her very closely, have an enormous amount of respect for the work that she does around economic development. And of course, she's a longtime champion of workforce development and ensuring that this community stays strong. She is a Long Beach person through and through, and we're really honored to have her leading our port. And to welcome us tonight with some remarks, please give a round of applause to the president of the Board of Harbor Commissioners, Luann Bynum.
Being his boss was the easiest job I ever had in my life. And actually, I learned more from him than anyone else. But thank you, Mayor Garcia, and thank you for your support. I have the honor of welcoming all of you on behalf of the Board of Harbor Commission to this year's State of the Port. Being a member of the governing board for the Port of Long Beach is a huge responsibility, and one that we all take very seriously. With an ongoing transformation in our industry and increasing demands from our community to be good stewards, the role of governance for this port has evolved over time. The leadership commitment and activities of this commission reflect the need to be more engaged, more proactive, and more directly tied to our customers and our community. This is a job in every sense of the word. Thank you to the mayor for bringing together this incredible team on the commission to lead this port. Now it's my pleasure to introduce my fellow commissioners to you. And I would like them to stand as I call their names and stay standing, please, until we are finished. Our board vice president, Tracy Garcia, who also heads her own environmental law firm. Our board secretary, Lorianne Guzman, the assistant city manager for Huntington Beach, and formerly Long Beach's finance director. Bonnie Lowenthal, a former state assembly member and 1st District Long Beach Council member. And Frank Colonna, a respected business leader, owner of a realty and property management company, and a former 3rd District Long Beach Council member. Please give them a warm hand. Thank you. Of course, none of what we do would be possible without the hardworking staff at the Port of Long Beach. They work smart and they work together. They're an incredible team. Let's give our port team a hand for their amazing dedication. Again, thank you for being here and giving us the chance to share with you our challenges and opportunities. Global trade and transportation is a big business and a key to a thriving economy. The $180 billion in trade that goes through our port is critical to the health of our region and our national economies. We not only supply stores, factories, and homes with the goods that we all need to prosper, but we support nearly 1.5 million jobs throughout our nation. That's a very big deal. But our local impact is just as vital. Nearly 40% of all the goods that come through the port stay right here in Southern California, providing over 30,000 jobs in our city of Long Beach alone, and more than 300,000 jobs throughout the region. I'm proud of the excellence at the port, but to be the best, We must be proactive. Here in Long Beach, we have both the resources and the talent to lead. In my view, we have the capability to define the highest standard of excellence and the means to achieve it. So how do we do that at the commission level and here at the port? One important way is to listen. Really listen to the needs of all of our stakeholders, not just here at the port itself, but throughout the world, so we can identify trends, opportunities, and also overcome those challenges that are there to ensure that our long-term competitiveness. Let me share an example. Last year, along with my fellow commissioners, the port staff, and our mayor, who I have to tell you is an incredible champion for the port and the city around the world, we traveled to customer sites in Asia. Talking with the CEO, we asked him what was the most important thing to his company. The answer in one word: reliability. This was not an isolated response. We heard it over and over again wherever we went. Reliability is what our customers need and what they expect from us. Later that same day, after we met with that CEO, the ILWU and the PMA announced their agreement to extend their contract for another 3 years, ensuring that labor and management would be ready and willing to process all the cargo coming our way. Thank you to the ILWU and the PMA for the outstanding leadership that continues to move our port forward. Let's give them a hand. This industry is built on close relationships. We all know that. It's about what we can do together to grow our business. So please, let me be clear. The port has a strong, engaged board of harbor commissioners ready to listen and to use our expertise along with yours to build a port that sets the pace for ports around the world. As commissioners, we're always excited to share our successes, but like all good leaders, we're defined by how we overcome major challenges. This past year, we dealt with quite a few. We had to find a new executive director who understood how our industry is changing and had the skill to help us chart a new course to adapt. You may recall also that coming into 2017, our largest tenant had filed for bankruptcy. After rapidly exploring, identifying, and analyzing the potential solutions, the board chose to lease our biggest terminal to Mediterranean Shipping Company. With the Panama Canal now complete, competition has intensified, forcing us to map out a new business plan. With direction from the board, our executive team has broadened our outreach to our current and prospective stakeholders. This past year's cargo numbers, and more importantly, the relative percentage increases that we have seen at this port, shows that this strategy has been a huge success. We also navigated the development of the updated Clean Air Action Plan, which not only reflects the bold vision of a zero-emission port, but also includes realistic goals that stakeholders agree can and would be met. Not a small undertaking for the board and for the staff, I assure you, but one I am personally very proud of because it was a highly inclusive process. Confronting these challenges proves to me the Port of Long Beach is very capable of adjusting and adapting. In that process, our port grows stronger and better. 2017 was a record-breaking year for us. That success doesn't happen in a vacuum. This green port will continue to deliver on economic and environmental sustainability for our community because it is the right thing to do. This week, we approved the Pier B Rail project to deliver our economic and environmental goals. This past year, the Commission approved a $65 million program to reduce environmental impacts on our community, which includes funding air filters in schools and senior centers, as well as planting trees throughout our beautiful city. I can say unequivocally that no other seaport on the globe has taken such a large step. Good, let's give that applause, thank you. As the Port of Long Beach also anchors, though, our economic development. As the Green Port, we serve as an incubator for emerging clean technologies. We are a catalyst for new business and for jobs in our community. We've brought together our city departments, Long Beach City College, Cal State Long Beach, and our port business partners to grow the international trade and transportation industry. Your port is at the heart of an ecosystem that fuels our city's capacity to create jobs and build shared economic growth. One more point. To be sure that we have the best prepared candidates for those jobs, the Port of Long Beach works closely with our local schools and colleges. With more than $700,000 in scholarships awarded since 1993, and our sponsorship of the Academy of Global Logistics at Cabrillo High School, we are providing a solid pathway to high-paying jobs right here in our own community. We are building the Green Port of the future, doing our part to make Long Beach a great place to live, a great place to get a top education, and a great place to find jobs that will ensure our port is the best and most competitive in the world. Here at the Port of Long Beach, we lead by example. Now, I know that for each of us on this board, we want to complete our watch knowing we did everything we could to make the port and City of Long Beach better and stronger for the generations to come. As leaders, we expect no less of ourselves. Our legacy will be business success, powerful economic development, unrivaled environmental achievement, and an outstanding record of social responsibility to our community and region. Which brings me to Mario. In selecting our executive director last year, we wanted an engaging leader who would embrace our Green Port ethic, who would grow our business, and who would be responsive to our stakeholders, the commission, and our community. Mario Cordero is a former harbor commissioner himself. He is a past federal maritime commissioner who served as chairman for 4 years, developing policy and strategy for ports nationwide. He's a longtime Long Beach resident and formerly a local attorney and a political science instructor at Long Beach City College. He is the right choice at the right time. To present the 2018 State of the Port, please join me in welcoming the Port of Long Beach's Executive Director, Mr. Mario Cordero.
Thank you, Luann. Thank you, commissioners. And I want to thank you all for your warm welcome. Before I begin my formal remarks, I just want to share with you, I am really excited to be here this morning. I've had the opportunity to speak to many audiences across the country and abroad. But being here this morning to speak to this audience at this port, in this position, is for me an absolute privilege. I am very blessed. Commissioners, thank you so much. But let me talk about 2017. 2017 was a big year. The Dodgers went to the World Series. And I am here at the nation's largest port complex, and I feel like I've made it to the World Series of Ports. Again, thank you, commissioners, for your confidence in me. With their outstanding leadership and the work of our terrific port staff, and the support of our elected officials, the Port of Long Beach is unstoppable. Now, I want to acknowledge the executive team And when I call your name, please stand up. Dr. Noel Hacegaba, Managing Director of Business Development. Sean Gamet, Managing Director of Engineering. Rick Cameron, Managing Director of Environmental and Planning. And Sam Juneblatt, Managing Director of Finance. Ladies and gentlemen, these people do the heavy lifting day in and day out. Join me again in giving them a big hand. Now this morning, I come to you to present the State of the Port for 2018. I'll give you a look back at the past year, our key business, environmental, and social accomplishments. Then I'll share our priorities for this year and our vision for the years ahead. You know, last May, when I returned to the Port of Long Beach, I faced an industry that was evolving. A shift from 4 to 3 carrier alliances raised questions about the impact on this port. Updating our Clean Air Action Plan was another challenge. Some may have doubted our competitiveness, had doubts about growing our business, or doubts about how do we create a better port. But I'm here to tell you this morning, I have no doubt. That's not in my DNA, and it's not in the DNA of the Port of Long Beach that I know. This port has a legacy of success. I've seen what this port can do, and I believe it can do much more. Where others were pessimistic, I am optimistic. Where some might see the port at a crossroads, I see a port on the road to greatness. I see not only the green port of the future, but I see a port gateway driven to maximize operational efficiencies. Look at this video, and you'll see what I mean. I think you can agree with me, this is an incredible port. And I would be remiss not to acknowledge those who were here before me. More specifically, Richard Stanke, who was here for 14 years, who what you just saw in this video, he was so much a part of that. I know you're here, Dick. Where are you? Thank you. As I noted, I think these numbers will bear me out. And I'm going to look at the past year and our top accomplishment by the numbers. So let's start with 7.5 million. 7.5 million TEUs. That was our total for last year, which is an 11% increase over the previous year, and the highest total in the port's 107-year history. We finally beat our previous record, set in pre-recession 2007. With growth in international trade and the supply chain energized, new business continuing to come to the Port of Long Beach, we are strong. All of our terminals contributed. Now let me just touch on a few highlights. Mediterranean shipping and Total Terminals International led the rebound at Pier T. Long Beach Container Terminal ramped up its business at Pier E and at Middle Harbor, and SSA brought new business like SM Line and Medpack services to Pier A. But that's just our container business. Our non-container business was very strong across all sectors. Metro, Toyota, Endeavor, SSA all reported container cargo increases. And as I indicated, that jump was 11.5% in our non-container cargo. With unemployment low and consumer confidence high, our outlook this year is good, both as it relates to container and our non-container cargo. I have no doubt we can grow our business even more. Yes, together we can. So give yourselves a big hand. $2,835, or 30. That's the length of the first two berths at Long Beach Container Terminal, new facility at Pier E. That's almost 10 football fields, long enough to accommodate two of the world's largest ships. We're now building a third berth in the final phase of this $1.5 billion project. This is the state-of-the-art, greenest terminal in the world. Let's take a look. Yes, Long Beach Container Terminal has expanded its business while cutting back turn times in half and reducing emissions substantially. This past year, we moved 25% of our cargo by on-dock rail. Years ago, there were doubts about our rail investments. Rail is key to our operational and our environmental success. Every train reduces as many as 750 truck trips. It's rail that connects us to all the major markets across the country. No gateway, and I'll say it again, no gateway in North America offers more connections. No gateway provides customers greater flexibility. 28 is a number reflecting that we raised 4 more ship-to-shore cranes last year, giving us 28 that now accommodate the world's largest ships. Last month, OOCL sent its largest ship to call at Long Beach Container Terminal, the Cape Tainado. During Thanksgiving, we welcomed COSCO Shipping's largest vessel ever to call in North America. They gave a ship a very descriptive name, the Himalayas. Just picture this huge mountain of containers. Our PCT terminal at Pier J discharged more than 7,000 TEUs from the Himalayas and reloaded more than 8,000, nearly 16,000 in all. No port in the world discharges and reloads as many containers per vessel as we do at this complex. We are big ship ready, making us leaders in productivity, reliability, and efficiency. I have no doubt that together we can compete. Congratulations to COSCO, OOCL, and all our alliances and terminal operators. Give them a big hand. The Board of Harbor Commissioners budgeted $1 million this past year for community sponsorships to support the arts and other civic events. Over the last decade, being a good community partner becomes a top priority. Today, the port is widely recognized for our leadership in social responsibility and community outreach. So thank you to our harbor commissioners for their leadership, and the sponsorship recipients for making Long Beach a great place to live and work. And let me thank Carrie Giroux, Carrie, stand up, our Director of Communications, and her communications staff for leading this outreach. And again, let's give them a big hand. Once more. 515 feet. That is the height of the 2 main towers of our $1.5 billion replacement of the Gerald Desmond Bridge. We topped off the towers just a few weeks ago. This new bridge, the bridge to everywhere, is going to be an iconic landmark, high enough for the larger ships and wide enough for extra traffic lanes, and there will be a separate bike path and pedestrian path. And by the way, building this bridge generated 3,000 jobs. Let's take a look. Yes, we have an amazing construction team. Our in-house engineers, our construction contractor, SFI, and the many union groups, cement masons, electricians, iron workers, laborers, operating engineers, carpenters, pile drivers, teamsters. And with that, I also want to acknowledge the man behind this project for the Port of Long Beach, Dwayne Carnegie. Dwayne, where are you? Big applause. For the 19th time in the last 2 decades, the readers at Asia Cargo News voted the Port of Long Beach the best seaport in North America. This honor reflects our leadership in a number of important areas. We stand out for our great facilities, outstanding business partners, unrivaled access to East Asia and the major rail hubs of America. As you know, cargo that moves through the Port of Long Beach gets to Chicago 11 days faster than goods shipped through the Panama Canal. But best of all, they see us here at the Port of Long Beach as the #1 port in customer service. And that is why I have no doubt about our ability to compete. A couple months ago, we dedicated the second of 2 new fireboats. The Vigilance has now joined the Protector. They're among the most powerful and capable fireboats in the world, ready to safeguard us in today's era of big ships. Let's take a look at this video. We are so proud to be leaders in safety and security. Congratulations to Long Beach Fire, Long Beach Police, U.S. Coast Guard, and our Harbor Patrol and our entire security team. So thank you, Chief DeRee, Chief Luna, Captain Downey, and our Security Director, Randy Parsons. Let's give them a big hand. We reported last year that we reduced port-related diesel emissions. We reduced that by 88%. No port complex in the world has moved more aggressively to improve air quality and safeguard the health of its community. This is a remarkable achievement, and only possible because of the cooperation and the collaboration of our environmental team that includes our staff, our business partners, and this entire community. Yes, we are the Green Port, so give yourselves a big hand. Now, let me shift to my vision for the future, both as it relates to the environment and our operations. But let me focus on another important number: 0. Zero emission remains our ultimate goal. Never forget that for us to grow our business, we have to grow sustainably. That's a promise. That is a promise that is key to the industry and the community that supports us. Last fall, the Board of Harbor Commissioners for the Port of Long Beach and Los Angeles approved a major update to the Clean Air Action Plan. Our quest is even better air quality. We are not working just to reduce emissions. We are now thriving to entirely eliminate emissions. By 2030, all terminal cargo handling equipment will be zero emissions. And that same year, we'll have eliminated all emissions from vessels at berth. And by 2035, we expect to transform the entire port truck fleet to zero-emission vehicles. We've established, thank you so much. We've established the port's first greenhouse gas targets. Climate change is today the world's gravest threats. And our goal is now to reduce greenhouse gases by 40% by 2030 and cut them by 80% by year 2050. It is an incredibly ambitious goal. And I know there are doubters, but there were also doubters when we created the Clean Air Action Plan 12 years ago. But together, We made the impossible possible, and we're going to do this again, because together we can do this. But understand the Clean Air Action Plan update is a real-world plan. As we move ahead with new technologies that will be tested for operational effectiveness and, as importantly, cost effectiveness, we'll provide the flexibility, the incentives, the opportunities for collaboration. I have no doubt we'll exceed all expectations once again. We must be bold. We must adopt an Elon Musk state of mind, which brings me to another key number, $200,000. Late last year, I was there when Elon Musk gave us a look at Tesla's new electric semi-truck. Tesla has priced its trucks under $200,000. And they say that the electric semis will be able to go 500 miles between charges. Let's take a look at this video.
Production begins 2019. The Tesla Semi will go 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, even with 80,000 pounds pulling max gross, getting 60 miles an hour in 20 seconds. 500-mile range.
The future is here. Whether it's Tesla or Toyota's hydrogen fuel cell trucks, zero-emission trucks are coming. And much sooner than anyone would have thought a decade ago, or even a year ago. I want the Port of Long Beach to be the Tesla of the port industry. I want us to lead. But let me make it clear. I want us to be both the environmental and the operational leader of the world's seaports. We have set the bar high to be the world's greenest port. And at the same time, we need to move goods in and out of our port faster than any other port. We don't have a choice if we're going to remain competitive. Global logistics is changing fast, much of that because of the e-commerce revolution. Retailers can no longer make you come to them at their convenience. Today's customer expects to get what they want, when they want it, and where they want it. You know, over the holidays, if you shopped on Amazon, you probably had gifts shipped to your home overnight or even within a couple hours. Today, it's all about speed. It's an Amazon world. Cargo cannot sit at our docks for days, and truckers cannot sit for hours at our terminals. I want us to be the Amazon of ports. Let us imagine, let us inspire, and let us push. You know, one of my favorite movies is Kevin Costner's Field of Dreams. It's a classic baseball movie about making dreams come true. We are doing that here at the Port of Long Beach, creating the port of our dreams that is predictable, that is reliable, efficient, and fast. As we build this port of our dreams, the business will continue to come. I know the key is collaboration. We intend to work closely with all our partners so that we can all thrive. Two of our paramount partners are the Pacific Maritime Association and the International Longshore and Warehouse Union. Making Long Beach the port of choice is largely dependent on a successful relationship with key partners. We now have the West Coast Labor Agreement through year 2022, providing us with operational stability to essentially and efficiently flow our goods and move those goods in a dependable manner. Let's give a hand to the IOW and PMA. Building this port of our dreams requires major investments, smart investments. We regularly meet with our business partners to ask them, how can we help them grow? Help them adapt to an industry and operational challenges, and help them thrive. You know, years ago, it was our customers who told us that the bigger ships were coming. And that's why we invested $4 billion this decade in deeper water, taller cranes and bridges, more rail, bigger fireboats, and faster technology. And we plan another $3 billion in capital investment in the next 10 years. That will include $1 billion in rail upgrades, so we can move at least a third of our containers on trains. Just this week, our Board of Highway Commissioners approved our Pier B on-dock rail support facility. This will help us move cargo even faster with fewer environmental impacts. It is critical for us to meet regularly with our business partners. And last year, we logged over 500 meetings across the country and overseas with executives from all the major shipping lines and with hundreds of key importers and exporters. Exporters talked to us about the growing market of plastic resin. Production of these tiny white beads has jumped because of the US natural gas boom. This plastic resin is exported from the Gulf Coast to Asia and comes back to us as toys, auto parts, and much more. But exporters said that there were bottlenecks. The Gulf Coast didn't have enough empty containers to carry the plastic overseas. So we teamed up with our railroad partners to tap into their hubs in Dallas, where empty containers were plentiful already, which come through here, that is Port of Long Beach, on the way back to the Far East. With our efforts, much more plastic is going to come through the ports to Asia. Many of our efforts are the resulting of listening to partners and taking decisive action to stay competitive. You know, a couple years ago, our partners told us that the matching up of chassis had become a chaotic headache. So we brought the key players together and nudged them to switch to the pool of pools. Today, that pool features 80,000 interoperable chassis. The result is greatly improved efficiency, enhanced velocity across the complex. But next on the agenda is a true great pool with a neutral manager to optimize chassis transactions even more. It isn't just our business partners that we listen to. Recently, Mayor Robert Garcia urged us to tackle the trucking crisis in our industry. To help truckers thrive, I want to see faster turn times. To speed our truck moves, we're supporting truck appointment systems and container peel-off programs. The updated Cleaner Action Plan requires our terminals to implement reservation systems within 2 years. Truckers are extremely vital to our success. So let's give that community a round of applause. I see more technological solutions coming. Our partners want more information to make the best decisions. And on the horizon are systems and technology to more easily share cargo data while maintaining cybersecurity. Yes, we have a lot on our plate. But what more should we do to improve the predictability, reliability, and velocity that our customers, the American shipper, demands and deserves? How can we make this even more productive, a more efficient port? Now, what if we could move half of our containers by on-dock rail? What if we cut turn times in half at our terminals? Or even better, what if we eliminated waiting and offered near zero turn times? What if you could move your containers to warehouses 24/7? Is that hard to believe? You know, a few years ago, how many of you thought you could tap on your phone and order Christmas gifts and get them delivered to your home overnight? We must be like Amazon. We must be like Tesla. We must reimagine, redesign, and build not only the green port of the future, but a port that is second to none operationally. So how does all this come together at the Port of Long Beach? Remember those holiday gifts delivered overnight that I mentioned? This is the new normal, and everybody in this room knows that. For us to grow sustainably, our port must be better prepared than any North American port. We need to bring goods through our terminals around the clock, on vessels that plug into clean shore power, on zero-emission yard equipment and cranes, and on the most efficient network of trucks and trains. That's how consumers will get what they want and when they want it. That's how we'll all thrive in the same-day e-commerce environment. I have no doubt, and you should have no doubt either, because I believe in this port. I believe in our Board of Harbor Commissioners, in our staff, in our business partners, in this amazing industry, and in this wonderful Long Beach community. I'm excited about where we're heading, because together we will thrive. Yes, together we can do this. So, thank you for listening, and thank you for being here this morning. Thank you.